Hey, everybody. Thank you all for coming today. Let's sing a couple songs. And then if you have a favorite, we'll try to do that too. Light of the world, step down into darkness. Open my eyes, let me see beauty that makes it hard to adore you. Hope of a life spent with you. Here I am to worship. Here I am to bow down. Here I am to say that you're my God. You're altogether worthy, altogether lovely, altogether wonderful to me. I say and get me behind. Peace today is mine. Bring your hopes on things eternal. To God's unchanging hand. Yes, Jesus loves me. The Bible tells me so. How many have ever wished for an opportunity to back up the hands of time? Have you? I have many, many times. To rethink some decisions and to change some actions and reorder some priorities. You know, the problem is in natural terms, that is not possible. Time runs on a linear track. You can't speed it up. You can't slow it down. You certainly cannot reverse it. But where God's time clock is concerned, God has the ability to go back into our past and change things. I talked to an older man a few days ago, and he said, I can't change. I've been the way I am for too long. I can't be any different. And then he used an old expression that said, you can't help me. You can't teach an old dog new tricks. And I said, that's true. That's true, but you're not a dog. You're a human being made in the image of God. And the Spirit of God deals with you, and God changes hearts. Maybe you can't teach old dogs new tricks, but God can put a new heart in an old man or an old woman. He can do that. Young lady said to me recently, I've gotten so far off the track, so far from the way in which I was raised. I've made so many wrong turns. I've lost my way. I don't think I could ever find my way back home to God. Anybody have any idea how she felt? Have any idea how she felt? I want to share with you today from John chapter 8 a wonderful story that guarantees that your life can change. You can start over. You can have a brand new beginning. And it can happen right here today. It can. John chapter 8, beginning with verse 1. Jesus returned to the Mount of Olives, but early the next morning he was back again at the temple. A crowd soon gathered, and he sat down and taught them. And as he was speaking, the teachers of religious law and the Pharisees brought a woman who had been caught in the very act of adultery. And they put her in front of the crowd. Teacher, they said to Jesus, this woman was caught in the act of adultery. The law of Moses said to stone her. What do you say? Now, what was their motive? Was their motive that justice would be served, that this woman would be straightened out? No. Here's their motive, verse 6. They were trying to trap him into saying something that they could use against him. But Jesus stooped down and wrote in the dust with his finger. Now watch, this is a great, great story. I want to show you three things as we move through the story. Number one, Jesus Christ has come to give you pardon for your past. Here's a woman who had a past. How many have a past? Come on, let's get real, be honest. How many have a past? We all do. We have things we're not proud of. We have things we shouldn't have done. We've made mistakes. We've gone against the commandments of God. But the first words that Jesus spoke to this woman had to do with the pain of condemnation and guilt and the seemingly unbreakable bond with her past that she had in her mind and her memory. And it's horrible. It's painful. All of us know that. And so hard to break with that tendency to beat yourself up for mistakes you've made in the past. And that's exactly where this woman was. She could not seem to break with her past. Because she had done bad things, she had learned to see herself as a bad person. She thought that she lived, and she lived out that perception every day of her life. She had learned to see herself in that way. You see, there's a script in your brain that tells you what kind of person you are. And everybody in your life, every significant person in your life has written lines into that script. Maybe it was a parent that says you're no good, you're lazy, you'll never amount to anything. Maybe it was a sibling who said you're stupid or you're ugly. Maybe it was a schoolmate that said things that were unkind and uncomplimentary. People in our lives write lines into that script. And a dreadful sense of being a bad person keeps you on the wrong track.